What's happening, everyone? Street Riders here, bringing you a Battlefield 3 Armored Kill review. I've been playing for a couple of days now, and I'm starting to get a pretty good feel for how it's all going to work. There are 4 new maps included in this expansion: Death Valley, Bondor Desert, Alborz Mountain, and Armored Shield, which are all gorgeous, by the way. I definitely got to give props to DICE for pushing the new big open maps with different types of effects and lighting. These new maps bring a nice variety of different types of landscapes to the scenarios of huge snowy mountaintops, open grass plains, deserts, sand dunes, towns, villages, and rivers. DICE has included many new vehicles, but the top 2 that get the most attention are probably the AC-130 and the mobile artillery. You'll notice the nice new effects instantly from the mobile artillery as you rocket barrage different enemy positions. The AC-130 is probably the newest addition into the Battlefield 3 series. Many people feel that it's overpowered, but it's truly not that hard to destroy it. With all the different tools of destruction you're granted in Battlefield 3, it doesn't always feel overwhelming when the AC-130 is firing from above. Especially within large Conquest mode, you're granted AA tanks, jets, helicopters. You always got your Iglas, and you can also take it out with many different types of ground support. Although on the opposite side of the spectrum, when you're using the AC-130 and you're raining hell from above, you feel just a little bit helpless as you can't bank the plane, you can't control the plane, you're just a sitting duck in the plane. And even though it's a moving vehicle, it almost feels static. As you're flying over with a bird's eye view of the battlefield, you have 10 guys locked onto you with Iglas, jets on your rear, helis firing from all angles, and anti-aircraft guns firing at every position. And let's face it, if you're not very coordinated with the flares, a couple of lucky guys can pop off a few shots and take you out within reason. But ground troops can also feel overwhelmed by the AC-130, as you can't hide from that thing. It's got a bird's eye view of the battlefield, and there's no hiding behind buildings like you can with a tank or any kind of infantry. That thing sees all, and it will see you, and you will die. The AC-130 definitely feels a little overpowered in rush mode, but in Conquest you're granted so many different tools to take it out that it's really not an issue. Now the 4 modes in Armored Kill are Team Deathmatch, Large Conquest, Armored Superiority, and Rush. Now I will admit that Rush feels a little unbalanced as the attackers get the AC-130 along with more armor and more vehicles. As a defender you can feel very undergunned and overwhelmed at times, because you're just not granted as many tools for destruction as you are in Large Conquest. Holding a position from an overpowered team can be frustrating at times, but it can also be extremely rewarding when you're undergunned and you can take the offensive, which can also be deceiving at times, as I feel the attackers know they're overpowered and they kind of lighten their guard a little bit. And at this point, a good squad can definitely push back the attackers and put them back in the corner. Now I definitely say that the best maps for Rush are Death Valley and Bondor Desert. They are well laid out and keep the battle up front. Large Conquest, on the other hand, can feel very slow paced and boring at times, especially for an infantry unit. Now this is obviously Armored Kill and they expect you to use vehicles more than running on foot, but the maps are so spread out that if you're not within direct conflict, you're going to be running for a while without a vehicle. The size of the maps definitely encourage you to use some sort of armor or vehicle to get from point A to point B. Without a vehicle, you're likely to be ran over or just completely shot down by the AC-130. Infantry still plays a large role on the Large Conquest maps, but it doesn't feel as satisfying as it does in other modes. Now a mode that did get a lot of play in the release of Armored Kill was Team Deathmatch, which is implemented extremely well. DICE has done a great job picking locations of the 4 new maps to heavily emphasize on infantry play. My favorite Team Deathmatch maps by far are Alborz Mountain and Armored Shield. These maps do a great job of keeping the action forward and keeping the combat at large. Slow moments are rare, especially on 64-player servers, but even on the low-player servers the action is intense and it's constant. Now Tank Superiority is a completely new game mode for Battlefield 3. It implements large maps, lots of vehicles, and heavy action. The only beef that I would have with Tank Superiority is the buddy system. Playing Tank Superiority Lone Wolf can actually feel a little intimidating at times. With so much happening everywhere and so many different vehicles on the field, it's more fun to play with a friend. Which actually brings me to a problem that I have with Tank Superiority. You can't spawn with a friend inside his vehicle. Say you jump out of a vehicle to repair it after being attacked. If he takes off and you get killed, You can't respawn into the same vehicle with your buddy. The only way he's going to be able to find you is if he comes and picks you up, which can definitely be discouraging at times if you're playing with a friend and you can't find each other on the map. But I'm sure that this will end up being fixed within a patch. On the whole, Armored Kill is a lot of fun, and personally I don't feel like you could go wrong purchasing it. It lives up to Battlefield standards of complexity, intensity, and strategy. While I find certain game modes better than others, it's still a very great addition to Battlefield as a whole, and will definitely give you that little jump start if you're looking to get back into the series. I encourage everyone to give it a shot for themselves. Battlefield is an amazing series and will continue to be. So pick it up for your preferred platform and get into the action. And as always, thank you for watching. Please like, rate, and subscribe, help my channel grow, and I'll see you next time.